Hi, welcome back to the kitchen. Today is Monday. It is Monday night, so we are gonna need to make something quick and easy and fast. So we are gonna be making BLTs for dinner tonight. But rather than your traditional French fries to go with your BLTs, we're gonna be doing some roasted red potatoes in the air fryer. I'm gonna make some homemade garlic bread to go as the bread for the BLTs and some air fried potatoes. So come on, let's go make it. Roasted potatoes in the air fryer. First, wash your potatoes. Doesn't matter what kind of potatoes you've got. Little red ones, little white ones, big red ones, big white ones, big brown ones. Doesn't matter. Wash them with the skin on them. I'm going to use a mix of red and white in the little mini ones, but you can use whatever you want. I'm going to get them from the sink. When you're washing potatoes, scrub them. Use your hands and scrub. Get all the dirt off of them. So now that they're washed, we're going to try and cut them in even pieces. So they're pretty small as it is. They're really teeny tiny, but so I'm just going to cut them in quarters. That way they'll cook faster. So let's do that real quick. Let me show you. I'm going to cut them half this way, half this way, till they're at quarters. Just like that. While you're cutting these, go ahead and get 2 tablespoons of butter and melt it in the microwave. Always melt butter in glass dishes. Back to cutting. If your air fryer requires preheating, now would be a good time to preheat it. Mine asks for it, but I actually don't bother with it preheated. I just throw them in and let adjust my cooking time. The butter is melted, so we're just going to pull that out, let it cool for just a second. Go. That's it cool. Grab a bowl to put your potatoes in so that you can mix them. How many potatoes you make will just depend on how many people you're trying to feed. Usually the little company potatoes, I'll use the half a package for 2 people, and that'll give us enough leftovers for lunch the next day. The more potatoes you have, the more your cooking time is, so make sure that you're adjusting that a little bit. Almost. All right, now we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna move you so you can see what I'm doing here. Hi, puppies. All right, we're gonna take our butter and we're gonna get some seasoned salt and a little bit of garlic. All right, so first things first, we're gonna pour about half the butter in the bowl. We're gonna stir it quick because the butter is gonna solidify as soon as it hits those cold potatoes. So about half of it. Just eyeball it, doesn't have to be perfect. Stir it to try and get all the potatoes to be coated. Make sure you're scraping from the bottom because the butter is going to go over to the bottom there. Okay, now pour the rest of your butter in. Go ahead and stir it again. And now it's time to season our potatoes. We're gonna use some seasoned salt. We're gonna go like a medium on this. Not light, but not really heavy either. I know that's not a really good measurement, but just kind of eyeball it. You know, sprinkle some on there, stir it in. If you see that all the potatoes are not quite covered, stir in a little bit more. I'm gonna add just a little bit more of this. Just a little. Okay, and then garlic. Just like last time, a little goes a long way, so only use a little bit. A real light sprinkle. Stir it up again, and then we can take it over to the air fryer. All right, come with me. All right, I have an Instant Pot air fryer. Your air fryer might be different than mine. Here's what mine looks like. So I'm gonna plug it in. I always keep them unplugged until I'm ready to use it. Door needs to go open. I'm gonna hit the air fryer button. I'm gonna set it for 20 minutes at 380 degrees. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the start button. Now mine usually preheats, but like I said, I'm just gonna throw these in here. So I'm gonna open up the door, pour it in the bottom. Make sure I get all that good bits. And I wanna kinda make sure that it's an even layer on the bottom of the pan before I shut it. Go ahead and turn it on. And then I'm just gonna let the air fryer do its thing. About halfway through cooking, I'm gonna pull the tray out and just give it a nice good shake and throw it back in there. But that's all. That's it. You'll have air fried potatoes in no time. So, homemade garlic bread. Super quick, super easy to make, and extra yummy because you get to control all of the ingredients. So I'm gonna go ahead and first get a cookie sheet, preheat my oven to at least 400 degrees, and melt 2 tablespoons of butter. All right, butter's melted. Let that cool for a second. Yeah, I'm gonna lay out 8 slices of bread on the pan. 8 slices of bread. They kind of fit.
Yeah.
I don't know what's up with this one. I'm not gonna trust that. I'm gonna toss that one. I don't know what was wrong with it, but I don't trust it. There we go. That's better. All right, so now we're gonna take our melted butter and we need a brush. If you don't have a brush, that's okay. You can use a spoon if you have it, but I have a brush. We're gonna take the butter and we're just gonna paint it right on the bread. We're not gonna go extra super heavy, just kind of light. As I splatter butter everywhere. Now you can do this a couple of ways. You can lightly paint the bread and then sprinkle it with some garlic powder, or if you've got minced garlic, you can mix that into the butter and infuse the butter with the garlic and do it that way. We're gonna use the powder this time. There we go. It's about even. Doesn't have to be perfect. Go. All right, I've got my granulated garlic here. Remember, a little goes a long way, so we're just gonna very lightly sprinkle. Very lightly. And then I like to add a little bit of seasoning salt to mine. Again, very, very lightly. Barely on there. All right, and then we just pop in the oven for a few minutes to toast up, and we have homemade garlic bread. All right, potatoes are done. So you can see them in the air fryer, they're all nice and golden. So I'm just gonna pour them into a pan. Be careful, the pot, there's water that drips from the edges here, so be careful with that. I'm gonna hold that thing there. the shelf in the bottom so that it doesn't flip onto me. Pour it into a bowl, and then it's ready to serve. Our garlic toast is out of the oven, so now it is time to put our BLT sandwiches together. Somehow I managed to buy these teeny tiny little heads of lettuce.
I got nothing.
They're so teeny tiny. Like, look at these.
Mama's got it.
They're so cool. So tiny.
Mama's got
but we're gonna take a couple of those leaves off and wash them real quick. This outside one off. It's gross. Gross. It's gross too. There's that one. Alright, there we go. Now I can take these off and wash them really quickly. So I'm just gonna kind of break them off the head. I don't need this much lettuce, but I'm just gonna break up the whole head.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Ivy. Ivy loves lettuce. Would you like a piece? Break it. Make it nice. I'll leave this one for Addie for later. All right. Let me wash these up real quick. Just rinse them under some cold water. Use your fingers to kind of massage any loose dirt off of them real quick.
Ivy.
Okay, now it's time to assemble our sandwiches. We've got some mayo, so I'm going to take a piece of garlic bread. Squirt a little bit of mayo. Just a little bit, you don't need a lot. I grabbed a knife just so I can smear it.
The garlic on top?
No, I put the garlic underneath, so then that way when you bite into it, you got garlic on the outsides instead of on the inside.
Okay. Just checking.
It's a great question. I flip it over so the garlic's on the bottom, so that when you have the whole sandwich, the garlic bread shows on the top. I mean, you can do it any way you like. I mean, you could butter both sides of the bread if you really wanted to. Seems like a bit much, but...
Just checking, I don't know, maybe you lost it for a second.
Alright. Come on, Addie. There's our bacon. Yummy. We cooked this in the oven. We started with a cold oven, 400 degrees. We laid out the bacon on a baking sheet and then just put it in the oven cold. Let the oven get up to temperature and then set the timer for 20 minutes and keep an eye on it. You shouldn't need more than 20 minutes for bacon. Oh, you can't even see the bacon on the camera. All you see is Ivy's tail. Let's bring this down. There's the bacon. So I'm going to take these and rip them in half. Do 2 slices per sandwich, maybe? We'll see. That looks good. Maybe we'll load it up. We're not putting any tomato on ours because we don't like tomato. We're a non-tomato household. Alright, so now I'm going to take some lettuce.
See that.
Lay that on the other side. So that's Addie's piece. That. I'm going to take this and flip it over on top of that one. Give it a little smush. And then last thing is take our knife and cut it in half. There we go. And we have some sandwich. And then our roasted potatoes. My hands are full of grease from bacon. Ivy, thank you, but no. the roasted potatoes. So this kind of takes the place of a French fry. So normally it's a BLT and French fries, but we're doing roasted potatoes instead because they're a little bit healthier. Because we're gonna have lots of bacon because we love bacon. And there we go. BLT sandwiches with roasted potatoes. Now for the ultimate test. It's the taste test. All right, Kevin, you're up. Taste test. Take a big bite. And tell everybody what you think. Take it.
It's okay.
Oh.
Delicious.
He knows better than that. All right, guys. Thanks again for joining us in my kitchen. Thanks again for joining us in the kitchen. Have a good night.